Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking stories in the world of numismatics. A simple 1-cent coin from 1981, the Lincoln penny with no mint mark, is now stirring the entire coin collecting community because one rare specimen is making headlines with a staggering market value of $9.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was once casually tossed into pockets, wallets, and piggy banks might now be the ticket to your financial dreams. Let's go back in time to set the stage. The year is 1981. Ronald Reagan has just become president. MTV goes live for the first time. And somewhere in the United States Mint, a little coin was struck that would go on to become a modern legend. Most Lincoln cents from this year were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's where things get interesting. Coins minted in Philadelphia in 1981 carried no mint mark. This was standard practice. So why is a no mint mark coin from that year now creating such an uproar? Well, the story begins with a handful of incredibly sharp-eyed collectors who noticed something off about one particular penny. While it looked normal at first glance, upon closer examination, this coin was different. It had sharper detail, a perfect strike, and most notably, it was minted on a planchet that should have never been used. This coin wasn't made of the standard copper-plated zinc. It was minted on a pure bronze planchet, a leftover from the pre-1982 era. And that is where the rarity begins. But that's not all. This penny had other unique features: a double die reverse, an ultra-high grade, near-perfect preservation, and absolutely no signs of wear. What makes this coin nearly priceless is not just its rarity, but the condition it was found in. It received a professional grading score of MS68RD, which stands for Mint State 68 Red. In the world of coin grading, that's an almost perfect score. To find a coin over 4 decades old in that kind of condition is almost unheard of. Where was it found? You won't believe this. The coin was discovered at a local flea market, mixed in a $5 bag of old coins. A collector picked it up thinking it looked shinier than the rest. After months of research, consultation with experts, and professional authentication, the penny was confirmed to be one of a kind. The rarity, the error, the condition, the demand, all combined to create the perfect storm. And then came the auction. Collectors from all over the world lined up to bid. The opening price started at just $500,000. Within minutes, it soared past $1 million. Then 2. Then 5. And finally, after a heated bidding war, the hammer dropped at $9.3 million. Unreal. A penny worth more than most luxury homes. And this brings us to the big question. Could there be more out there? That's the real kicker. Experts believe there may be several more of these rare 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cents that were struck in error and released into circulation unnoticed. That means right now, there's a chance that someone has one sitting in a drawer, in a jar, or maybe even in their wallet. What should you be looking for first? Check the date. It should say 1981. Then flip the coin and see if there is no mint mark under the date. That's common for Philly coins. But what makes the rare ones stand out is the material. If your 1981 penny feels heavier than usual or looks different in color, it might be bronze. The copper-plated zinc cents weigh about 2.5 grams. But the bronze versions weigh about 3.1 grams. A small scale can help you figure that out. Next, inspect the coin's details. Look for sharp, clean lines and doubling on the reverse side. If it looks unusually crisp and bright red, and you suspect it's been preserved well, you might be holding something truly special. But be careful. There are fakes out there. And not all 1981 no-mint mark pennies are worth more than a cent. The vast majority are common. But the key is the combination of factors: metal content, condition, errors, provenance. Get your coin authenticated by a professional grading service before you do anything else. Now let's talk about the impact. This sale has re-energized the collecting community. More people are now looking through their old change. Coin shops are seeing an increase in visits. Online forums are buzzing. Auctions are heating up. And best of all, this story has brought new life to the idea that treasures really can be found in everyday places. So, what does the future hold for this coin? Could it go even higher in value? Experts say yes. If another one is discovered, it could start another bidding war. And if it's in even better condition than the first, who knows how high the price could go? This isn't just about money. It's about history. It's about mystery. It's about the thrill of the hunt. One little coin, one tiny mistake at the mint, and now we have a piece of American treasure that's rewriting the record books. So here's my challenge to you. After this video, go check your change. Look through that old coin jar. Ask your grandparents if they have any pennies from the early 80s. You might just be sitting on $1 million discovery and not even know it yet. Before we go, make sure to like this video if you learned something new. Subscribe for more wild coin stories and drop a comment below if you've ever found anything rare or valuable in your change. Who knows, you might be featured in the next video. Until next time, keep searching, keep dreaming, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into rare coins, amazing discoveries, and shocking values in the world of numismatics. And today we are talking about one of the most unbelievable stories in US coin history, the legendary 1983 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark that has recently stunned collectors by being valued at a jaw-dropping $2.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that was minted in 1983 at the Denver Mint is now considered one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever known to exist. And in this video, we are going to explore how that happened, the fascinating backstory behind this coin, what makes it so special, and why collectors and investors alike are going crazy over it. So let's start from the beginning, because in order to understand the importance of the 1983 Lincoln penny, we need to go back to a major change that happened in the US Mint just 1 year earlier in 1982. Up until 1982, all Lincoln cents were made mostly of copper, which made them heavier and more expensive to produce. But due to rising copper prices, the US Mint made a major change in the composition of the penny. Starting mid-1982, the Mint switched from using 95% copper to a new core of 99.2% zinc with just a thin outer layer of copper, resulting in a much lighter coin and significantly cheaper to make. The new pennies weighed about 2.5 grams instead of the older 3.1 grams. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because 1982 was a transition year, both copper and zinc pennies were made that year, and for collectors it became a year full of varieties with large dates, small dates, copper, zinc, and so on. But once 1983 rolled around, all business strike pennies were officially supposed to be made from zinc. Planchettes only copper was no longer used. So when someone comes across a 1983 penny that weighs 3.1 grams, the red flags start flying. And that's exactly what happened. A few 1983 pennies without a mint mark from Philadelphia have been found struck on the old copper planchettes, and those alone are worth tens of thousands of dollars. But even rarer is the 1983 penny from the Denver Mint struck on a copper planchette. These are considered to be mint errors, but not just any mint error. This is the kind of error that is so rare it almost seems impossible. According to experts, only one verified 1983 penny struck on a copper planchette has ever been found, making it essentially a one-of-one coin, the holy grail of error pennies. And this single coin is what has reportedly fetched over $2.1 million in a private transaction. To be clear, this is not your average 1983 penny. Most of those are extremely common and worth only face value, unless they are in perfect condition or have other unique features. But this specific coin was mistakenly struck using a copper planchette left over from the pre-1982 era, possibly a blank that was misplaced or got stuck in a hopper and somehow ended up being used during the 1983 production run at the Denver Mint. Because of that error, the coin weighs more than it should, has a completely different metal composition, and displays characteristics that are totally inconsistent with standard 1980 3D issues. The discovery of this coin created major waves in the numismatic community, and it was sent to multiple grading services for verification and authentication. And yes, it passed all the tests. The weight was right, the composition was tested, and it was Confirmed to be struck on a copper planchet and not post-mint altered. This is what turned it from an interesting oddity into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now, let's talk about the current market value. Why would someone pay $2.1 million for a penny? It comes down to three things: rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. When you have a coin that is absolutely unique in its class, especially from a major modern mint like Denver, it becomes more than a coin, it becomes a piece of history. And for high-end collectors, having something no one else in the world has is worth millions. And if you look at other coins that have sold for big money, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, you'll see that rarity and a good story always command top dollar. So what does this mean for you? Should you go digging through your old coin jars looking for 1983 D pennies? Maybe not all of them will be million-dollar coins, but it never hurts to check. If you find one that weighs 3.1 grams, get it checked immediately, because even if it's not the coin, it could still be a valuable error. And who knows, maybe another one is still out there hiding in plain sight. To wrap it up, the story of the 1983 D copper penny is one of mystery, chance, and extraordinary value. It reminds us that coins are more than just money. They are tiny time capsules, and sometimes they carry secrets worth millions, whether you are a serious collector or just someone fascinated by treasure stories. This is one coin that captures the imagination and proves that sometimes the smallest things can be worth the biggest fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing videos on rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating world of numismatics. See you next time, and keep searching. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and rare currency enthusiasts. Today we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and fascinating coins in modern American history, the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This isn't just another copper-plated zinc coin you might overlook in your change jar. This is a penny with a story, a penny with mystery, rarity, and incredible value. Today we're going to explore how a coin that was never supposed to stand out has become a collector's dream. With a jaw-dropping market value of $69,781, let's start from the beginning. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it replaced the Indian head cent and has remained in circulation ever since, making it the longest-running coin design in United States history. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through several changes, including the reverse design, material composition, and of course the mint marks. Now, what makes the 2001 Lincoln penny so special, especially the one with no mint mark? In order to understand that, we need to take a look at the minting process. Normally, coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is the oldest mint in the country, do not carry a mint mark. That in itself is not unusual. So, if you find a 2001 penny without a mint mark, you might assume it's just another ordinary coin, and you'd be right in most cases, but not all. In 2001, the U.S. Mint produced billions, yes, billions of Lincoln cents, most of them from the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Denver mint coins carry a small d mint mark, while the Philadelphia coins typically do not carry any mint mark at all. However, what collectors have discovered is that among the sea of these coins, a few ultra-rare variations exist that were struck in error or under unusual conditions. What sets this particular 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln cent apart is not just the lack of a mint mark, but its condition, striking quality, and potentially even minting errors that occurred during production. Some of these coins were struck on different planchets or show off-center strikes, double dies, or incredibly sharp detail that sets them far apart from the usual business strike pennies found in circulation. The coin that's currently making waves in the collector's market has been authenticated and graded at a nearly perfect level. We're talking about a pristine condition coin known as Mint State 69 Red, which is just one grade below a perfect Mint State 70. That kind of grade is almost unheard of for a penny straight from 2001, because most of these coins were heavily circulated, scratched up, or poorly struck. But this one stood the test of time, somehow remaining flawless for over 2 decades. So, how did this particular coin come to be worth $69,781? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors: rarity, condition, demand, and collector interest. It was likely stored properly from the day it was struck, preserved in a climate-controlled environment, and never entered circulation. That alone is impressive, but combine that with a potential striking error or an unusual feature, and you've Got the makings of a numismatic treasure. Coins like this are typically sold at auction, where passionate collectors bid against one another, driving the price higher and higher. In a recent auction, this specific 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln cent fetched an astonishing $69,781, leaving even seasoned collectors stunned. It goes to show that even modern coins can hold extraordinary value if they meet the right conditions. Let's talk about the current market value and how it's determined. Coin values are not just about age, but about condition, rarity, and demand. Even though billions of 2001 Lincoln cents exist, only a tiny handful are graded at such high levels or exhibit rare features. Serious collectors and investors are willing to pay a premium for coins that are one of a kind, especially if they complete or enhance a high-end registry set. Now, if you're wondering whether you might have a hidden gem in your own collection, here's what to look for. First, check the date. Make sure it reads 2001, then flip the coin under bright light and inspect the details. Look at Lincoln's coat, his hair, the lettering, the rim, and the overall luster. A coin that looks unusually sharp or flawless might be worth a second look. Also examine the coin for doubling on the letters or numbers or any sign of misalignment or die cracks. These errors can greatly increase the value of your penny. You can also weigh the coin. A standard 2001 Lincoln cent should weigh about 2.5 grams. If your coin weighs more or less significantly, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, and that kind of min error can skyrocket the value as well. If you think your penny might be something special, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, who can authenticate and grade your coin. It's always amazing to think that something as small and ordinary as a penny can be worth more than a brand new luxury car or even a college education. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin has a story. Some are common, some are rare, and a precious few are priceless. The 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, worth $69,781, is a shining example of how history, condition, and a little bit of luck can come together to create something truly valuable. So next time you're going through your pocket change, keep an eye out for those 2001 pennies. Take a moment to look closely. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight, and who knows, maybe your next penny could be the one that changes everything. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible world of rare coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Until next time, keep collecting and happy hunting. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today we are diving into one of the most mind-blowing modern coin stories you may not believe until you see it for yourself. We are talking about the 2018 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, you heard that right. A penny. A single copper-colored coin that is now said to be worth an incredible $50,824. So grab your change jars, check your pockets, and stick around, because this might just be the most valuable penny you've ever come across. The history of the Lincoln cent. First, let's rewind a bit and take a quick trip through the history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first United States coin to feature a real person, and it has been in continuous production ever since. Over the years, the design has changed a few times, from the original wheat ears reverse to the Lincoln Memorial and now the Union Shield, but Lincoln's iconic portrait has remained on the front. Now let's fast forward to 2018. That year marked the continuation of the Union Shield design introduced in 2010. Most 2018 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while Denver coins have a small D just under the date. Sounds simple, right? But here's where things get interesting. Why this penny is special in the world of numismatics? Not all coins are created equal. Every once in a while, a coin is struck with such a rare error or comes from such a limited run that it becomes insanely valuable. That's exactly what happened with one very specific 2018 Lincoln penny. A small batch of 2018 pennies with no mint mark were found to have something special, a dramatic doubling on the obverse side of the coin. For those who aren't familiar with coin terminology, doubling means that parts of the design appear to be printed twice, slightly offset, creating a sort of shadow effect. In this case, the doubling was so strong it was visible even without a magnifying glass. The doubling showed clearly on the word Liberty, on the date, and even on Lincoln's profile. Collectors refer to this type of error as a double die, and it's one of the most sought-after types of errors in coin collecting. Why? Because it usually happens during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin gets misaligned or impresses the design more than once in a slightly different position. When it's caught early, only a handful of coins might be affected before the error is fixed. That makes these coins incredibly rare. The discovery that shocked Collectors, the first discovery of the 2018 double die penny without a mint mark, shocked the numismatic world. At first, people thought it might just be a normal 2018 cent. But after being inspected by professional graders and coin experts, it was confirmed this was no ordinary penny. It was a high-grade double die error, and it was real. Word spread fast and collectors went wild. People began checking their change like crazy, searching rolls from banks, even buying sealed boxes of pennies hoping to find one of these rare gems. One of these coins, in pristine uncirculated condition, was professionally graded at a top-tier mint state level and eventually sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $50,824. Let that sink in. A single cent, a coin that most of us wouldn't bother to pick up off the sidewalk, ended up being worth more than a brand new car. What makes it worth that much so? What makes this coin so valuable? It comes down to a few key things: rarity, condition, demand, and certification. Only a few of these double die coins are known to exist. Combine that with high demand from collectors, and you have a perfect storm. If the coin is in nearly perfect condition, free of scratches or wear, and has been officially graded by a professional coin grading service, its value skyrockets. Now here's the thing, not every 2018 penny without a mint mark is worth thousands. You need to have the specific error. You need the doubling. You need the grade. But if you do find one, and it checks all the boxes, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Current market value as of right now. The highest known sale of a 2018 no mint mark Lincoln penny with this rare double die error is $50,824. That number could go up over time as fewer of these coins are discovered and collectors compete to own one. In fact, some experts believe that a flawless example of this coin, a perfect grade from a top grading company, could one day fetch even more. Even lower-grade examples can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and the strength of the doubling. So yes, it is absolutely worth checking your spare change or that jar sitting on your dresser. How to check your PNNIS? Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable coins? It's easier than you think. Grab a magnifying glass or even the zoom on your phone camera and look closely at the date and the word Liberty. If you see any signs of doubling, especially strong, clear doubling, you may have struck gold. Well, copper, but you get the idea. It's also a good idea to check for other signs of mint errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual markings. If you think you have something valuable, get it appraised by a professional or submit it to a grading service for evaluation. There you have it. The 2018 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a modern-day treasure hiding in plain sight. One coin, 1 cent, potentially worth over $50,000. It's an incredible reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things can turn out to be extraordinary. If you enjoyed this story and want more videos about rare coins, hidden gems in your change, and how to spot value where others see nothing, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the next big find. And hey, if you do find a valuable coin, come back and let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and as always, happy hunting. Welcome back to the channel, fellow coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking and exciting discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting. We're talking about a seemingly ordinary coin that might just be sitting in your pocket change right now. I'm talking about the 2020 Lincoln 1 cent penny with no mint mark that's currently valued at an incredible $82,902. Yes, you heard that right. a modern-day penny worth nearly 83 grand. So buckle up because we're about to explore the full story behind this amazing coin, its history, the errors that make it special, and what makes it so valuable on the current market. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909. That's over a century of history packed into a small copper coin. Originally struck to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the design has undergone a few changes over the years, but the face of Lincoln has remained consistent. On the reverse side, though, we've seen several redesigns, including the wheat ears, the Lincoln Memorial, and in 2010, the introduction of the Union Shield, which continues to this day. Now let's talk about the 2020 penny. In most cases, this coin is made of copper-plated zinc and weighs about 2.5 grams. It's minted in large quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with some coins also coming from the San Francisco Mint as proofs. But here's where it gets interesting. Most pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint carry no mint mark, which is totally normal for that facility. So when you see a 2020 penny with no mint mark, it's usually nothing out of the ordinary. But as every experienced collector knows, the devil is in the details. In rare instances, certain 2020 no mint mark Lincoln pennies have been discovered with striking errors, die variations, and rare features that can skyrocket their value far beyond their face value. One of these rare versions recently sold for an astonishing $82,902 at auction, making headlines across the coin collecting world. So, what made that particular coin so valuable? Let's break it down. First off, this coin featured an extremely rare die clash error. A die clash occurs when the coin dies, which are the metal stamps that press the design onto the blank coins, strike each other without a blank in between. This results in ghost-like images of design elements being transferred onto the wrong side of future coins. In the case of the valuable 2020 penny, the die clash left distinct and visible impressions of Lincoln's jacket lines on the reverse side of the coin, which should never be there. That alone caught the attention of sharp-eyed collectors and experts. Secondly, the coin was in pristine condition. We're talking mint state 68 red, which is incredibly rare for any coin, let alone one found in circulation. The color red indicates that the coin has retained most of its original coppery luster, with minimal oxidation. Combine that flawless finish with a rare error, and you've got a collector's dream. Another factor was the coin's provenance. It was authenticated and graded by one of the top grading services, which gave buyers the confidence to bid high. Provenance and third-party verification go a long way in the coin world when you're asking for top dollar. So where does that leave us today? As of now, the 2020 no mint mark Lincoln penny with the same type of error and condition is considered a holy grail among modern coin collectors. While not every 2020 penny will be worth thousands, there are still plenty of reasons to check your change. Some versions of the coin with less dramatic errors can still fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on the severity and clarity of the error and the coin's condition. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare pennies? Grab a magnifying glass and take a close look at both sides of the coin. Look for any unusual markings or impressions that don't belong. Check for doubling on the date or letters, especially on words like liberty and in God we trust. If anything looks out of the ordinary, it's worth getting a second opinion from a coin shop or submitting it for grading. And remember, condition matters. Coins that have been heavily circulated or scratched up lose value quickly, even if they have rare features. If you think you have a special coin, handle it with care. Put it in a coin flip or holder and avoid touching it with bare hands. So there you have it. The 2020 no mint mark Lincoln penny may look like just another piece of change, but in the right condition and with the right error, it can be worth a small fortune. $82,902 for a 1-cent coin is no joke, and it just goes to show how exciting the world of numismatics can be. Have you found any rare or valuable pennies in your change lately? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads on rare coins, hidden treasures, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting!